Project Life Movement is an organization that works closely with another organization called Gift of Life. And what Gift of Life does is they cure blood cancer through stem cell and bone marrow donations. Project Life goes to college campuses all around the country and sets up donor drives. They were on the campus of Liberty University, which I formerly attended, and they had a table outside of our library. And one of my teammates actually happened to be working behind the table and just called me over just to chit-chat a little bit. The way you sign up for the registry is to swab the inside of your cheek and they send it off to their labs and then see if you're a match. So I ended up swabbing just in our little conversation, and then they called me about a year later and told me I was a match. When I got the call, they kind of explained to me, I'd been matched with a patient who had acute lymphoma and needed a stem cell transplant. And so they explained the whole process to me and what my role in it would be and what she needed from me and then how fast or, slow we could get it going. And then we went from there. When I originally started this process, I was still at Liberty University and I was still doing a little bit of the preliminary work and just kind of playing a waiting game because they really just needed to verify that I was a match for this patient. But after I transferred and committed to the University of Tennessee, that was a little closer to the actual donation date. I called Kelly just because I knew that there was a couple injections that I was gonna have to have, a little bit of medicine that I wasn't familiar with and that I knew needed to, get approved by the athletic trainers before, I let it in my body. So I gave her a call, just kind of updated her on what was going on, and she was super excited and supportive.
The way I approached it was she had an opportunity that not many people get to have. She has an opportunity, honestly, to save a life. We wanted to support her through that decision and through that process, even though at this point she still had not been on our campus.
The donation process was pretty simple. Gift of Life and Project Life worked together to facilitate where I would give blood to just ensure that I was a match with the patient. They organized it at different clinics around the Orlando area just because that was the closest for me. And then when the actual donation time came around, they put me on a train to Boca Raton. They put me up in this super nice resort, the Opal Grand Resort, which is right on the beach. And you can stay there for 3 days, up to a week, because they need you there at least 3 days before your actual day of donation. But if you elect to, you can take the whole week completely paid for. I donated stem cells, not bone marrow. So for that process, you have to be hooked up to a centrifuge, I believe it's called, where they take the blood out of one arm, run it through this machine, it spins out and separates the blood cells, and then it goes back in your bloodstream through the other arm. My donation process was about 6 or 7 hours. Afterwards, I would say I was just a little tired, but I wouldn't say that I was in any significant pain or anything. I didn't have major side effects from the medication. I was pretty excited. I was just excited that I was able to help save somebody's life because that's not something that everybody gets to do. They have kind of some protocols in place that say that you can't have any contact with the patient up to a year post-op. But what they do, which is awesome, is they have kind of a liaison between her and I. And so if I want to write her a letter or give her some encouragement or something, I can just send that over to the liaison and they'll make sure that it gets to her. I think about it often just because it's just being able to help somebody in their time of need, because oftentimes when these patients are matching with Gift of Life donors, this is their last chance. They've tried every experimental type of drug, everything to try to cure their cancer, and there's nothing left. I mean, it's really a once in a lifetime experience, and there's nothing that can replace it.
Kian is a really special young woman, and she's one of those people that when she leaves, she's going to do great things. And I think this is just a precursor of that. Having Kian be this person, be this advocate for Project Life, but also, stepping out of one's comfort zone and being able to help in a bigger way than most people are able. It really just speaks to who Kian is as a person.